A very warm welcome to this video, which is titled Sacred Sagas of Redemption, Allegorical Threads in the Crucifixion and Bheeshma's Bed of Arrows. This particular video was inspired by a friend of mine on Facebook who asked this question: who is greater, Jesus, who spent 3 hours on the cross, or Bheeshma, who spent 51 nights on the bed of arrows? The moment this question came to me, my mind traveled to the universal problem that we have. Because when we do literal interpretation of the sacred text, this is where we land up. Comparing two mythologies in totally two different cultural contexts. The narratives of Jesus hanging on the cross with 3 nails and Bheeshma lying on the bed of arrows are deeply rooted in religious and mythological traditions, especially in Christianity and Hinduism respectively. From a mytho-fiction dimension, we can explore the spiritual significance of these events in a symbolic and allegorical manner. Let us first take Jesus on the cross with 3 nails. There are a number of elements that we need to understand. Symbolism of the cross. Cross is a powerful symbol in Christianity, representing sacrifice, redemption, and the connection between the earth and the heavens. The vertical beam, which in the Roman times for crucifixion was a T-section, not a cross. The vertical beam represents the divine, while the horizontal beam represents the earthly realm. Together, they signify the union of the spiritual and the material world. The 3 nails used to crucify Jesus are often interpreted as symbolizing the Holy Trinity in Christianity: Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. It is the combination of these 3 elements that is really needed for a redemption of the spirit which resides in this material world to a level which is of the higher dimension towards the spiritual world. The act of nailing Jesus on the cross represents a sacrificial offering for salvation of humanity. And what is the salvation? It is the elevation of consciousness from being rooted in material realm to the earth, to the heavenly realm. Suffering and redemption. This is the next element. Jesus' suffering on the cross is seen as a profound act of love and sacrifice, serving to redeem humanity from sin. The narrative emphasizes the transformative power of suffering and the possibility of spiritual rebirth through Christ's sacrifice. And Jesus leaves a legacy. Jesus passed on his spiritual legacy to John, who authored the mystical gospel, which is totally different from the synoptic gospels. And this he did through a symbolic representation of passing on the mother-son relationship between Mary and John. Now let us come to Bheeshma on the bed of arrows. Here, arrow as a symbol is to be analyzed. Arrows in Hindu mythology, especially in the Mahabharata, are often associated with dharma, the righteous duty, and the inevitable consequences of one's action. Bheeshma, a central character in Mahabharata, chose to lie on a bed of arrows as a result of his vow to remain celibate and not ascend the throne, which is an indication of his total detachment from the material world. Next element is the self-imposed suffering. Bheeshma's choice to endure pain of lying on the bed of arrows for an extended period symbolizes his commitment to his principle and his duty. He reflects the idea that sometimes individuals must undergo personal suffering for the greater good or to uphold their values. And another powerful symbolism is the yogic symbolism. Bheeshma's endurance on the bed of arrows is often interpreted as a form of tapas, austerities, and self-discipline. In yogic sense, it signifies the control of the senses and the mind, transcending the physical discomfort for spiritual growth. And legacy? Before his death, he passed down the Vishnu Sahasranama to Yudhishthira. So these four elements are spiritually matching each other. So there is no question of asking who is greater, Christ or Bheeshma, because these two are rooted in totally two different cultures and backgrounds. In the mytho-fiction dimension, these narratives can be seen as archetypal stories that resonate with universal themes of sacrifice, redemption, and the interplay between the divine and the human realms. They inspire contemplation on the nature of suffering, the pursuit of higher ideals, and the transformative power of selfless acts. So, please do not compare the sacred text because they all come from a mythological dimension and rooted in their own culture and their own background. But the common theme, the spiritual theme, will always resonate if you are able to look deeper into this text. This is what I wanted to share with you, and thank you for watching and listening, and especially to my friend on Facebook, thank you for invoking this particular answer from me.